What's going on, man? It's Chetti, saving our style, man. Just been doing a lot of things to kind of create culture, you know what I'm saying? Curate culture or whatnot, and just trying to make it happen.
Why do you think guys like you and SOS aren't celebrated more in the city for being pioneers, for years?
Man, that's a good question, man. It's like we started about 10 years ago. We was just cats that was like into sneakers and gear or whatever. So after that, just kind of hanging out with each other, we eventually figured out we had interest that was beyond like sneakers. So we started a blog, pretty successful with that, doing like just reinterpreting Louisville through like a urban lens, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that we thought that was cool in the city, whether it be art, music, fashion, or whatever. And did some events with that, and just kind of doing different things. But this was kind of like before social media was really popping. So now you got like everybody tuning in on social media to see what everybody else got going on, you know what I'm saying? And so we just kind of like learned things throughout the years, like developing relationships with the press and stuff like that. But it's kind of like you learn as you go, you know what I'm saying? So it's just all things happen in due time. But we've been fortunate to be able to kind of like do things in so many different avenues, from art, music, and all that stuff. And like we still here 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? So, to answer your question, because I ain't answered it yet, I just think that due to the factors of like, social media really wasn't popping, and we didn't really know how to really get out there in the press. It's kind of like, people just wasn't as in tune with that stuff, because we've always been progressive, a little bit ahead of the curve, culturally. So
y'all more actually like hit the ground. You're not really into the not into like the digital side of it per se. As far as somebody else my age or younger, they're used to the digital side, so they won't really, y'all more used to like word of mouth. Whereas nowadays people do stuff, it's digital, they know how to do all that, but they're not used to actually face-to-face interacting, getting to the ground part, and actually, like a local rapper putting out music, back in the days out of his trunk.
Right.
Nowadays, he's on his laptop.
Exactly.
So if you ask him to switch roles, the laptop, they'll be like, man, you want me to sell actual physical copies out the trunk?
Right.
So I think I can kind of understand what you're saying, is that y'all's approach is more so original, like old school. It's more organic in a way.
Yeah.
It's not, I guess, I don't want to, how you call it, not infiltrated, inflated. Right. Inflated by the social media. So a lot of people get a lot of love on social media for people say, I'm going to go to the event, but then they're going to show up. Right. Whereas people 10, 15 years ago say they're going somewhere, they're probably going to be there. Yeah. It doesn't matter what's going on online.
Exactly.
Okay.
But we out here in the digital space too, you know what I'm saying? Social media, saving our style on Twitter and Instagram, Bourbon and B-Sides on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? So, and I got a black bourbon enthusiast club that me and my homies started called Kobe. Okay. Stands for Kentucky's Original Black Bourbon Enthusiasts. So we just kind of like trying to corner the market here, with things considered bourbon. That's like one of our biggest industries here. So, why not fill a niche in that space? Nobody's doing that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's even concerned about, that's not really bourbon's target audience, but we just,
Come on, black people?
Yeah, black people, urban audience is not bourbon's target audience. So you know, we was like, okay, let's kind of take bourbon but make it cool. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, these bourbon events, they got like some hillbilly string music playing, and you know, you already know the vibe, man.
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah. So, you know, we like, all right, you know, let's just kind of create a different experience to have people interact with bourbon, not necessarily a urban audience, you know, but it's just for like anybody who wants to be introduced or enjoy or learn more about bourbon in a better setting, you know, what we feel like's a more relatable setting, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, do you feel like Bourbon and B-Sides is SOS, I don't want to say biggest event, but I say probably maybe your most, maybe possibly successful in a sense, that, you know, just because you have the different styles and the different type of atmospheres mixing in one event, and it's been successful for almost a year now.
I would say definitely in terms of visibility and just really being a successful series. That is one of our big things to date, but you know, collaboration is key. So big shout out to the Goodtimers. You know, that's a joint venture we're doing with them. You know, we both we're very good at what we do, you know, individually. So it's kind of like just coming together and really doing something to move the needle forward, you know, push the culture forward as far as like nightlife experiences go. But if you had to ask me like what event I'm most proud of, it would have to be there's this art exhibit we did at Land of Tomorrow Art Gallery. They're not even around no more, but you know, we were able to do some events with them. We did it was an art exhibit called 90 State of Mind. So basically it was like a recreation of like an inner city kid that's into hip hop and the culture and stuff. What would his bedroom look like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you came up in the 90s for a little bit anyway. So like, you know, just like what was your bedroom like? Any like there's probably similarities.
I had a race car.
Yeah.
You know, so I had a little one of those race car twin beds or whatever.
Yeah.
That was my joint. And I think I had a bunk bed too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. How did the partnership with Goodtimers come about? How did that collaboration form?
You know, they came. We go to their events sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We normally just kind of like do our own thing, but it's kind of like you can catch somebody from Saving Our Style anywhere in the city. You know, so we kind of met the cats behind the Goodtimers brand, and you know, basically they wanted to do something, and you know, we kind of came up with the right concept. You know, coined the name Bourbon and B-Sides. You know, it rolls off the tongue nice. Got nice alliteration with it, with the B's. You know, it's something catchy. Yeah. Something memorable. So.
And it sounds smooth.
Right, exactly. So just kind of like merging the worlds of art, bourbon, music, fashion, like that's one thing that Saving Our Style does, is kind of show like how things are interconnected. You know, there's an intersection into all these different worlds. You know, I mean, you can make them collide and come together and do something that's pretty dope. You know, so that's been pretty successful. But I'm kind of most proud of the stuff we did back in the art days. You know.
Why is that?
Just because it was it was, I wouldn't say more, but it was creative on a different level. And it was a very personal one, because we actually recreated like a imaginary teen's bedroom in the 90s, and we all had personal elements from like stuff that we had kept from back in that era, whether it be comic books, an original Super Nintendo SNES joint. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The original games, like a TV from that period. So it was like you know, like Jordan posters and stuff, even drawings from art class that cats had drew back in the day but saved. So like it really came together like as a I guess what we envisioned it would be, and the reception was so good. Because that night was a crazy night in the art gallery. They had a skating rink, a pop-up skating rink in the other wing of the gallery. You know what I'm saying?
Were people skating at the time?
People were skating. And we had free beer and free wine, man. Like, it was in there cracking. Cats had to sign that waiver before they put them skates on, you know. But, yeah, it went down that night, man. It was just one of those memorable moments. But most of our events had been like one-offs.
Yeah.
Like we used to have the 96 party at Rudyard Kipling, you know, a few years ago, and that was like a little local artist showcase. We had DJs come through and DJ, and a couple you know, rappers in the city. They would come through, like 2 or 3 performances. Okay. You know, so.
What kind of rappers came? Well, not what, but who came through as far as rapper wise?
Lots of rappers came through. James Lindsay, formerly known as Jalen Rose, you know.
Yeah.
Jay Cannon, he came through there before. Flo, Play Code, my little brother Davey, Bowley Jack. Yeah.
Flexing,
yeah,
ain't moving a muscle though. Come through in some foreign shit, you checking it like customs, ho. American gangster, chase them Franks like Russell Crowe. Them Benjamin Franks, in case you lost or just don't know. I got my BT on, that's my black watch.